This 1960s Star Trek episode was so good, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy both called it a favorite. William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy have both called this Star Trek, the original series episode, one of the show's best. Throughout its 3 seasons, TOS produced some truly great television episodes, many of which have withstood the test of time. William Shatner's Captain James T. Kirk and Leonard Nimoy's Mr. Spock, along with DeForest Kelley's Dr. McCoy, have since become some of the most beloved and recognizable characters in science fiction. Despite being a product of the 1960s, TOS remains enjoyable today thanks to its wonderful characters and compelling storylines. Many iconic television moments came out of Star Trek, the original series, from Captain Kirk's fight with the Gorn in Arena to the goatee-sporting Spock in Mirror Mirror. Beyond these classic stories, some episodes remain underrated, falling near the end or just short of many best of lists. William Shatner has cited the beloved The City on the Edge of Forever as one of his favorite episodes, but he has also mentioned another Season 1 story as a favorite. TOS Season 1, Episode 25, The Devil in the Dark, remains an underrated classic with a quintessentially Star Trek story. William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy both named The Devil in the Dark among their favorite Star Trek episodes. The miners have disturbed the Horda's home and have been unknowingly killing its eggs, leading the creature to react defensively. In the end, Kirk convinces the miners to work with the Horda, as it and its young can help dig more tunnels throughout the mine. In his 1993 book, Star Trek Memories, William Shatner spoke about the Devil in the Dark, revealing that his father passed away during filming, and the cast and crew helped him get through it. Leonard Nimoy brought up the episode in the 50 Years of Star Trek documentary, praising the themes of overcoming fear of the unknown. The Devil in the Dark is still overlooked as a classic Star Trek, the original series episode. Although The Devil in the Dark regularly pops up on lists of the best Star Trek episodes, it often gets overshadowed by more famous stories. While it may not be as memorable as some episodes, The Devil in the Dark tells a classic Star Trek morality tale with a relatively happy ending. The miners learn that the creature they have come to fear is not actually a monster, but merely a parent protecting its young. The Horda, too, learns that the miners have not been destroying its eggs intentionally, as they had no idea what they were. In the end, the miners and the Horda learn to coexist in the cave system, with the Horda even helping create new tunnels. With its solid story and memorable moments like Spock's mind meld, The Devil in the Dark has more than earned its place among episodes like The City on the Edge of Forever, Arena, A Mock Time, and Mirror Mirror. William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy have different reasons for citing The Devil in the Dark as a favorite, but both agree it stands among the best stories that Star Trek, the original series, has to offer. In the vast universe of Star Trek, certain episodes transcend the boundaries of time and memory, standing out as monumental milestones in the franchise's long history. One such episode is the iconic The City on the Edge of Forever, a 1967 entry from the original series that not only captivated audiences, but also earned a place in the hearts of the show's most prominent stars, William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Both actors, who portrayed Captain James T. Kirk and Mr. Spock, respectively, would go on to name this episode as one of their personal favorites, a sentiment echoed by many fans and critics to this day. But what exactly makes this episode so unforgettable? Written by renowned science fiction author Harlan Ellison, The City on the Edge of Forever is a brilliant mix of time travel, romance, and moral dilemma, exploring deep philosophical themes while maintaining the adventurous spirit that defined the original Star Trek series. Set against the backdrop of a war-torn future Earth, the episode brings the crew of the USS Enterprise face-to-face with the mysterious Guardian of Forever, an ancient time portal that allows travel to any moment in history. When Dr. McCoy, DeForest Kelley, suffering from a drug-induced madness, accidentally steps through the portal into the past, he alters the course of history. It is up to Kirk and Spock to follow him back to 1930s Earth and restore the timeline. The episode's emotional core revolves around Kirk's relationship with Edith Keeler, played by Joan Collins. Keeler is a social worker and peace activist who runs a mission in Depression-era New York. As Kirk spends time in this era, he falls deeply in love with her, but soon discovers a heart-wrenching truth. In order to restore the proper timeline, Edith must die. Her survival, as noble as her ideals are, would lead to a delayed entry of the United States into World War II, giving Nazi Germany the upper hand, and resulting in a world where the Federation and the future of space exploration never exists. For William Shatner, this episode presented an opportunity to explore Kirk's more vulnerable human side. Kirk is often portrayed as the confident, charismatic leader, quick to action and unwavering in his decisions. However, the city on the edge of forever forces him into an impossible situation where he must choose between his love for Edith and his duty to the future. The weight of this choice and the ultimate tragedy of having to let her die for the greater good adds a layer of depth to Kirk's character that resonated with Shatner. He has often spoken about how this episode allowed him to stretch his acting abilities, bringing a raw emotional intensity to Kirk that few other episodes achieved. Leonard Nimoy, too, found something special in this episode. As Spock, he typically played the role of the detached, logical counterpart to Kirk's more impulsive nature. Yet, in the city on the edge of forever, Spock also finds himself deeply affected by the events unfolding around him. As he assists Kirk in his mission, Spock becomes an observer to the captain's emotional turmoil, but he is not entirely immune to the gravity of the situation. In his quiet way, Spock expresses empathy for Kirk, knowing that they both understand the stakes, but also share the burden of ensuring the timeline remains intact. For Nimoy, this episode gave Spock a chance to subtly showcase his humanity, the internal struggle beneath his stoic Vulcan exterior. But beyond the strong character work and emotional resonance, The City on the Edge of Forever has become legendary for its sharp writing and masterful storytelling. Harlan Ellison's script, though it underwent revisions from the production team, retained its powerful narrative structure and philosophical depth. The moral quandaries faced by Kirk and Spock, as well as the episode's tragic conclusion, elevated it from mere science fiction to a profound meditation on sacrifice, fate, and the responsibilities that come with great power. The episode also touched on broader social issues, as Edith Keeler's vision of peace and progress mirrored the real-world aspirations of many during the turbulent 1960s. Her belief in a better future, despite the struggles of her present, echoed Star Trek's own optimistic vision of humanity's potential. At the same time, the episode did not shy away from the harsh realities of history, acknowledging that sometimes difficult, even heartbreaking, decisions must be made to ensure a better tomorrow. The City on the Edge of Forever remains a beloved classic within the Star Trek canon, not just because of its compelling plot, but because of the deep emotional and philosophical questions it raises. For Shatner and Nimoy, it was a standout episode that allowed them to delve into the complexities of their characters and explore themes that resonated far beyond the confines of the USS Enterprise. Decades later, it continues to be celebrated as one of the finest examples of science fiction television, a testament to the enduring power of great storytelling and the timeless appeal of Star Trek. The City on the Edge of Forever remains a beloved classic within the Star Trek canon, not just because of its compelling plot, but because of the deep emotional and philosophical questions it raises. For Shatner and Nimoy, it was a standout episode that allowed them to delve into the complexities of their characters and explore themes that resonated far beyond the confines of the USS Enterprise. Decades later, it continues to be celebrated as one of the finest examples of science fiction television, a testament to the enduring power of great storytelling and the timeless appeal of Star Trek.